Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's in January, pretty cold out today, but I get to try on this new jacket that was given to me by my lovely daughter and her family, Kelly Marie. Thank you very much. Alright, today I'm going to be exploring a little bit more about the 224 Valkyrie using 69 grain Sierra tip Match King. They say that the gun writers say that the heavier the bullet for the 22 caliber is just perfect for the 224 Valkyrie and this 22 ARC, etc. Well, I don't know about that, because when I get into heavier bullets I can go to other calibers that give me more speed, but I'm using more powder. So this efficient cartridge and this efficient rifle should fit that middle niche that I'm looking for. Alright, so I've got my workup loads here. I've got the target set up about 93 yards today. So let's go ahead, get to testing, get to shooting, see how things work out. See you soon. Okay folks, up on the bench is my cross machine and tool 23.5-inch barrel 224 Valkyrie. Got real good results with the 62 grain bullets, which is perfect, about 100 feet per second faster than what a 223 can do. But you know, I'm after what this rifle was made for. Alright, so the target is set up at 100 yards, well 93 yards today. Let me go turn the camera on, get my rangecraft set up, put in the first 3 loads. I'm using 2 powders, CFE 223 and Accurate Arms 2520. And I'm using this real pretty little bullet here, this Sierra 69 grain tip Match King. Let's go ahead and get shooting. Set it up. Okay, these first 3 shots with the 69 grain Sierra tip Match King is with CFE 223. I'm going from 28 to the max load of 28.8 listed in one manual. Other manuals for the 224 Valkyrie have a much higher charge capability, but in this particular case I'm just using Sierra's numbers. Alright, first 3. Let's see how it does. Let's see, is this set up right? Yeah, it looks to be pretty good. Got to get that rangecraft set up pretty good. Alright, lower target on, well, let's go upper target on the left. Get situated. Good sight picture, good squeeze. Okay, 30.99. All right, this says that the top load's supposed to be 31.50. I think I'll get there. See how it groups. $31.36. $30.93. All right. Let's see. An average of 31.10. An SD of 16. Alright, let me go reset up, shoot the second round, be right back. Okay, that was pretty good group. Don't worry, we'll go over the target at the end completely and analyze it. I'm not going to adjust the scope right now because it should be higher velocity as we go, and we'll see what I want to see what that higher velocity does from my initial printing on the target, whether it moves left, right, diagonal, stringing, whatever. because that tells you quite a bit. All right, here we go with the second set of 3 of CFE 223. Helps if you load, right? I don't know why I keep forgetting to do that. $30.94, $31.75, $31.58. Just so you know, it's brand new Starline brass. I'm using CCI 450 small rifle Magnum primers. All right, so let's move on to the next 3. Okay, this is the last 3 of CFE 223. An interesting type of situation. Like I said, I shot the 60s and the 62s, and they actually had a lower charge weight than what is listed here in the manual that I'm using. But anyway, I've gone to the max charge, 28.8. I should exceed 3,200, but we'll see. That would be outstanding. Imagine being able to shoot almost a 70 grain bullet as fast as you can a 60 grain bullet. All right, here we go. Target right below the last one I shot. Eyes on, ears in. $32.15. $32.23. $32.44. How's that, folks? Think about it now. 69 grain, almost 70 grains, in a 22 caliber, going $32.44. All right, be right back. Next powder up will be AccuArms 2250. See you soon. Okay, here we go with the AccuArms 2520. Now, somebody might ask, why am I using AccuArms 2520s? I've been trying to find a replacement for Power Pro Varmint by Alliant. They discontinued it. It gave me the best velocity for small caliber rifles that I could achieve with decent accuracy. So this 2520 might be the ticket. So far it's worked out pretty well. Just so you know, all of the cases are fine. There's no marks on them whatsoever. So the pressure tolerances for the 224 Valkyrie, because of the 6.8 SPC case, can probably give you a lot higher pressure rigidity. All right, let's go ahead and fire these first 3. Be the target right next to the last one. Well, let me go check that. Oh well, if it's not on, I'll show you at the end. But if it's on, I'll show you as we go. And I gotta walk clear up there to check again. All right, target upper or left. All right, it is loaded. Get a nice square. $30.35. $30.37. $30.58. Check out these cartridges. Oh, absolutely fine, rounded, spent primer, no marks on the case, no sootiness, but was a little bit slower than that first initial offering of CFE 223. Okay, go to the next set. Okay, only 3/10 of a grain higher. Here we go. 3076. 3088. 3089. That's going to have a real good standard deviation. 5.9. Okay, let's set up for the last three. Be right back. Okay, that's a pretty good target out there. I hope you saw it, but you'll see it at the end. All right. It's not living up to the speed of the CFE 223, but it does have excellent standard deviation and better accuracy, but we're going quite a bit slower. Now remember, on the CFE 223 we went over 3200 on the final load. So in the manual it says this is also supposed to be going 3200 feet per second, but doesn't look like we're going to get there. All right, here we go. That's why we test. $31.63. That is a pretty big jump from 3089 to 31.63 on 3/10 of a grain. $31.43. And it looks to be a really good target. That one was 31.26. Okay folks, you know the drill. Let's get back to the barn, analyze that target, go over the numbers, and find out what kind of conclusions we can have for the day. See you soon. All right, folks, here's the target. Over on this side is the CFE 223. Over here is the Firearms 2520. Really good target, you know, 479, 675. Over here, 3044 to 3144. Over here, 3110 to 3227. Pretty good SDs, really good groups. But that's not what this is about. Remember, I was looking for a reason to have that 69 grain bullet. Here it is. Let's go through the comparison chart. All right, here's the ballistic charts. Now this comes right off of Federal's own ballistic charts. 224 Valkyrie with the 90 grain Sierra Match King with a G1BC of .563 and a muzzle velocity of 2700. Now that comes right off of their commercial box, but in the reloading manuals it's even less than that. Okay, then over here is the Sierra 69 grain tip Match King with a G1BC of .375, but a muzzle velocity of 3,225 that you saw in the video. Okay, so let's go to the chart. All right, the 90 grain at 400 yards has a 30-inch drop, a 4.8 wind draft with a 5-mile-an-hour wind, and a velocity of 2148 and an energy of 922. Okay, compare that to the 69 grain, 21-inch drop, 5.8, 2327, and 829. So only by 1 inch in wind drift does it make a difference. But in terms of retained velocity and energy, the two are pretty picking close. All right, then let's go out to 600 yards. So this is where wind drift really does matter. But look at the drop difference. 86.3 inches versus 67.2 inches. Drop is more important to me than wind drift. But here it is, 11.2 over here and 14.3. So what is that, 3 inches difference? Velocity is still higher, 1940 versus 1897. But again, the 90 grain heavier bullet will win out in energy, 719 versus 577. So it drops off pretty fast. Okay, folks, well, this is why I like speed, is because of that drop. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and check your subscriptions, please. Leave a comment if you will. But no matter what, as always, may God bless you all. See you again next time. Goodbye.